War rages across the mortal realms. New alliances are formed while others lie shattered, and the dominant powers ever seek their next conquest. While this and countless other battles rage on, one fact is becoming clear. The season of war has begun. This video is brought to you by the support of our channel members and the FLGS Partners, Warfire Minis, and X-Planet. Baron of Dice is the exclusive dice supplier for Season of War. Take a look through their incredible designs or even get your own custom dice made.
Hello and welcome to Season of War! Tonight we are excited to bring you another game of Age of Sigmar. My name's Jordan, I'm joined by Ryan tonight. Ryan, not a new army, but new additions to your Spider-Fang army.
Yeah, a little bit different. In fact, it's less of a Spider-Fang army than a big pink troll army.
Yes, and you've got some exciting new stuff to debut in it, so I'm excited for that. But jumping right into the mission, we are playing no reward without risk. Means we have 5 objectives on the table. It's hold 1, hold 2, hold more scoring. The twist with this mission is that there is no restriction on deploying more than 9 inches from enemy territory. Our territories butt up in the center, so there's the potential to deploy in combat. We didn't do that, but we're not too far away either. But that's it for the mission. Ryan, do you want to take us through your list?
Sure. So it's Gloomspite Gits. It's mostly Trogg, so I went with the Trogg sub-faction, the one that lets me heal after I fight. I have 1 unit of 3 Troggs up front, another unit of 6 right behind them with the Trogg boss beside them, and he's rocking the Sneaky Skull Fetish, which lets him make command points when he uses commands. We have a unit of Fellwater Troggs as well, and then of course Trogg himself, because I needed something to make my Troggs battle line, and he's not too bad. So that's the Trogg side of the army. Then we have the Spider side of the army. We have the Skitterstrand Arachnarok here, and 2 Shamans. The main shaman, he's my general, which means he's got Supernast Venom, which means he doubles his mortal wounds from poison, which is potentially extremely spicy. And then he also has the Totem of the Spider God, which is an aura of +1 to the mortal wounds done by Venom. And then on top of that, he's got Sneaky Distraction, which is a spell, which is a 12-inch aura of -1 to hit. And then the other shaman, he's got not a whole lot of anything, but he has Scuttling Terrors, which is his hero phase movement. And that's... we have 2 little shamans hiding here. One is a spider shaman guy, and he's got Hoarfrost. And we've got a Madcap shaman, and he's rocking Hand of Gork for the teleport.
Nice. Well, as we said, more mixed arms than you've been before, so I'm excited to see it. To face off against them, I am playing the Soulblight Gravelords. I've got a new exciting addition for me over here as well, and that is Neferata. Maybe not the first time we've had her on the channel, but the first time that we've had her in, for myself in one of our channel armies. So I'm very excited for her. But then we are playing Legion of Blood because of it, so that's her sub-faction. Legion of Blood gives me +1 attack for my heroes if they're in combat, +1 to cast if they're not. I did go very heavy on my hero loadout, although there only is 3. It's Neferata. I then have a Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon. He's got the artifact to make him ethereal. And then I have a Vandorian Lord in here as well for a 3rd hero. Between the Vampire Lord being ethereal, Neferata spell, and the Vandorian Lord having a debuff, I have lots of kind of defensive debuffs, as well as Neferata's aura of -1 to hit, similar to you. And then I've got a unit of 10 Blood Knights here, because that's kind of what I felt would be the best thing to take the buffs from Neferata. They're great on their own as well. And then I just have 3 units of 10 skeletons for the rest of the army, which isn't a lot of summonable stuff, so I didn't go for the returning 3 unit grand strategy. I instead went for controlling more grave sites. But that's it for my army, and yeah, Ryan, I was 3 drops here. You were more than that because you have more big guys than I do. So that does give me choice of who goes first, and I don't think there's much reason for me to take it. So Ryan, we're to jump into Gloomspite Gits, turn 1.
I'm so surprised. So we're starting with the moon in this corner. Okay. And for that reason, I'm going to do Moonlit Raid and just outnumber some skeletons on an objective.
Yeah, you basically have to take this objective, have everything under the moon.
Yep.
So don't leave your territory.
And then as for my heroic action, my Trogg boss is just going to make a CP, I think. And he's not even going to do it.
I'll go for heroic leadership as well with my general and fail it.
And then casting. We're going to cast Hand of Gork with the Madcap Shaman. And that's going to fail. Then we will cast Hoarfrost with the Spider Fang Shaman. And we failed that as well. That wasn't that important. Then this boy here is going to cast Mystic Shield. That's off with a 10.
I might as well try to unbind it. I do not.
All right, we will put that, we'll put it on the Unitrogs in the front. Okay, so my general is going to cast Sneaky Distraction, which, yes, and I'm adding to it, but that's a 10.
All right, try to unbind it. On an 11, naturally.
I hate you right now. Trog's got to bonk his Laystone. 4 dice, because he's full health. I guess we'll go with the ward.
And that's a 5-up ward save?
5-up ward. It's not too bad, especially on someone as tanky as him. All done, headed into the movement phase. All right, shooting phase. I'm going to hurl 3 boulders at your skeleton.
All right.
You have 10 models or more, so it's on a 3. 2.
2 mortal wounds?
Yep.
I take them both. You kill 2.
So it's charging time. I'm going to charge with the Skitter Strand Ragnarok for a 5. And we're going to start combat with, I guess, a Stomp. For yes, or 1.
And you kill 1 more. At the start of combat, 1 skeleton will stand back up.
We're going to all-out attack now.
I'll use an all-out defense here on the skeletons.
When the Skitterstrand of Ragnarok attacks, it takes down 6 skeletons and suffers just 1 wound from their retaliation.
1 damage.
How infuriating. And then it's the end of combat, so I'm going back into my tunnels. Because I don't want to stand there and die. So the Ragnarok is gone, and then you have Battle Shock.
And I'll inspire the skeletons just to keep them around for a little bit.
After reclaiming the central objective from their undead foe, the Gloomspite Gits complete their battle tactic and score 5 points.
So that's my turn. I hold 3 objectives, and I got my battle tactic, so pretty good. The only thing that went really bad this turn is you spiked a really high unbind and got rid of my -1 to hit aura, which I was hoping to have up for the potential double, because it could vastly swing how much damage you can do. But with that in mind, I'm in a pretty good defensive position. My squads are in the moon. Yeah, it's to see how you do. I think I'm not too bad. I got Mystic Shield on the front line. They're in the moon. They're warded up. Trog got his ward, so if you go into him, he's like hitting a brick wall as well. We'll see how hard you can hit, but
yeah, there's really no appeasing targets right now.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to force you into, because yeah, that's what Trogs do.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see what happens, and we will go into Soulblight Gravelords turn 1. All right. So for my battle tactic, I'm gonna go for Callous Overlords. So that is to get a summonable unit slain this turn. And then I'll just try and generate a command point with my general, which I do.
I will do the same with my Trog boss, which I also do.
And then I'll roll primal dice, none, so I do have an advantage by 1 right now. Into casting with the Vangorian Lord, we'll go for Flaming Weapon, which he'll just succeed on a 4 because of the +1.
All right, well, we'll try and stop with the Shaman on Ragnarok, which I do.
Then the Vampire Lord will cast Mystic Shield. That'll go off on an 8.
All right, well, I'll try and stop it with the little Spiderweb Shaman. Ha.
Stopped. All right, then Neferata's going to cast her spell to make the unit ethereal.
Okay.
We'll throw a primal at that one.
I can't stop that, so it's all yours.
And we'll put that on the Blood Knights. And that spell was Dark Mist. And then Neferata will just cast Spirit Gale, which we did on a 10. I get to pick.
I still have 1 unbind left. No.
And it's actually an 11 with the +1. So that's 1 mortal wound to 6 different units. We'll do your 2 little heroes, your 2 spider heroes, and the unit of Trogs up front. And then we'll also do the Trog boss for the last one. But that's it for my hero phase, and then we'll jump into movement.
Don't forget you can get access to 4 extra battle reports every month by supporting the channel through our YouTube membership. Hit the join button below the video to learn more.
All right, then into shooting. We're gonna see how many attacks the Vampire Lord has. He's got 3. He's gonna put 2 into your web spinner and then 1 into the Madtap Shaman. I will be -1 hit, so into the web spinner, hitting on 4s, nothing.
Guess you're not gonna kill them.
Into the Madtap, nothing.
Live this fight another day.
But then, obviously, you're doing a little aggro here. We are gonna go into some charging. And then monstrous actions. The Vandorian Lord is gonna try and roar the big boy, Trug. He does. And then the Vampire Lord will stomp your trolls for 2 mortal wounds.
Save 1. And then I will roar back with Trug at the Knights, I think is the most valuable target, and he succeeds.
And then, yeah, we'll just lead off fighting with the Blood Knights.
All right. I've been roared, so there's not a lot I can do here. But you will be at -1 to hit because you're near some Trogs.
When the Blood Knights attack, they put through 22 damage, leaving Trug's ward save as his last hope.
I actually have the mount attached still.
Those I won't ever run to. He's dead.
So 18? That was the worst ward roll ever, Ryan.
Oh, I've made worse, but that's really unfortunate.
No. That's the newly painted model syndrome.
I thought he was pretty resilient over there.
Well, you will get to activate next.
I'm going to attack with the Trogs in the middle so they get a heal before you fight them. Yeah, I'll attack coming from the Trog boss because I'll give them +1 attack.
When the Troggots attack, they deal 2 damage to the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon and take out the 2 remaining skeletons.
I'll go next with the Vandorian Lord into your Fellwaters.
All right, I will all at defense.
The Vangorian Lord attacks next, but only deals 3 damage to the Fellwater Trogs, who then promptly heal those wounds after they fight.
And then I'll go with the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon, and he'll use all of attack, obviously put everything into the Rot Guts.
Okay. They are in the moon, and they have Mystic Shield, so they're pretty tanky.
The Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon attempts to tear into the Rock Guts, but only deals 7 damage, and 1 Trog survives.
Okay, so I guess it's me.
Yeah.
Spider Boy.
Unable to get close enough to bear its venomous fangs, the Arachnarok Shaman deals just 2 damage to the Vangorian Lord.
Yeah, that went bad. Really, really bad.
Shockingly taking down the Great Trog, the Grave Lord's aggressive assault shows why the Legion of Blood is so feared across the realms.
All right, so Soulblight Gravelord's turn 1 was pretty effective. The big surprise here was taking down Trug. The Blood Knights, I knew like 2 run 2 damage on the charge, could do a bunch, but didn't roll great on your saves, rolled badly on your wards.
Yeah.
And the roar from the Vandorian Lord was pretty critical in that as well, so.
Yeah, I mean, that was spicy. I thought when I put him there that, I mean, standing there beside the -1 hit aura, he's got his ward up.
Yeah.
You're not going to kill him in one go. You're hitting on 4s. And
yep,
you just,
and they just did decent enough that it was, they did decent enough and then you underperformed. I was hoping Neferata would actually get in there to help as well, but it is what it is.
Like, he was probably going to go down to the other Lord eventually, but I was hoping he'd get an attack first. And all he has to do is attack, and he gets his heal from the thing.
Well, yeah.
So he would have healed D3+3 if he gets 1 attack in.
Yeah, and we saw the Vandorian Lord doesn't do much damage, right? So he whiffed, or did 3. The Fellwaters healed that, like you kind of explained. But yeah, surviving on 1 wound there could have been massive. So that was very fortunate. You're kind of tied up over here, which is nice. With my -1 or reducing run by 1 bubble, Neferata is making everything -1 to hit, and your spider notably cannot get within 1 inch to use his fangs, which are like the mortal wound one.
I mean, he's basically useless right now.
So just kind of pinned in there, yeah. And the Vampire Lord did enough, killed 2 guys. You did have a CP to keep the last one, which is annoying because it keeps me tied up, pending what happens on priority. But I still do take the objective because you only have 4 bodies there. I got my battle tactic with throwing those skeletons away, and so I'll store my 5 points here, which is obviously the most important thing. Yeah. Well, let's jump into priority for round 2. That's a 6. So I will have choice here. But because I'm actually tied up here with everything, the Vampire Lord, Vangorian Lord, Blood Knights, they're all stuck in combat. I'm actually going to give you the turn here, Ryan. It's going to give you the opportunity to throw things where you want to, but I'm stuck where I am anyways, so...
Yeah, well, it's not great for me either, because I'm stuck in places I don't want to be.
And that's exactly it. So we'll give away the turn and jump into Gloomspite Gitz turn 2.
So, led into the Maelstrom's my battle tactic, and then for heroic actions, I guess I'll make a CP with the Trog Boss. Nope.
And I'll go for a command point with my general. Fail it.
Primal dice, 1 each. Spells. Let's start with a Hoarfrost. Off with a 9.
Try to unbind it with a 10.
I hate you so much right now. Casting Hand of Gork with the Madcap Shaman. No Hand of Gork for me. Damn it. Okay, I am going to use a Primal Dice even though I have a 1 here because I think the Teleport could potentially be game swinging. So we're going to do it, and we're going to get 3. Okay, that brings us up to a 9, and yeah, let's see what you got.
We'll try to unbind it. A 12.
All right, we'll go Itchy Nuisance from the Shaman on the Ragnarok. He succeeds with an 8. Sorry, I meant Sneaky Distraction, not Itchy Nuisance.
I'll throw my Primal at it to unbind it.
And we will do Scuttling Terrors with my last Shaman, which he succeeds on a 7.
And my last unbind on a 9. No spells for you. Sorry, Ryan. Not being very nice.
I'm really screwed now. Leading into my movement phase, that was a very bad hero phase.
Enjoying the battle? Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, and share it with your friends.
All right, shooting phase. We're gonna spit at your hero thing, whatever that thing's called.
Vangorian Lord?
Vangorian Lord. We're spitting at the Vangorian Lord.
I'll go for the all-out defense.
Okay. On 2s. On 3s. 2 and -2.
So he'll be on 4s. Save them both.
I'm gonna huck some boulders at your Vampire Lord. 6 boulders, 1.
I save it.
All right, 1 boulder from the other guy. You got another mortal.
I do not save it.
So that's the shooting phase. Going into charges. We're going to do a nice long charge with the Ragnarok Shaman. He gets an 8. Last one from the Skitterstrand Ragnarok, who fails as well. All right, well, monstrous actions.
Just me. We'll go for a roar on your Dank-Old Trog Boss. Cocked. Failed.
That's huge. That's monstrously huge.
And then the Vangorian Lord will stomp the Fellwaters for 2 mortal wounds.
Right. We're going to go first with the trolls, believe it or not, and we will all-out attack them.
The Trogs attack, managing to land 11 strikes against the Vampire Lord's ethereal save.
So these will be on 3-ups.
Oh, come on.
2 go through.
6
damage.
What did I tell you?
Yeah. Wards. I save 2.
This was a mistake.
And we'll go next with the Vampire Lord just to fight him back and try and heal up. And he'll go everything into the Dank-Old Trog Boss. And he'll use all-out attack.
With Lance, Maw, and Claws all landing vicious blows, the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon takes down the Trog Boss.
And we heal up to full.
Well, I might as well go attack my other Trogs now.
Fellwaters into...
The hero, I guess. He's more killable.
Yeah, and he'll use all-out defense.
The Fellwater Trogs deal no damage to the Vangorian Lord. Then they're wiped out when he and the Blood Knights retaliate.
Alright, so that's my combat phase. It went horribly. I lost 350 points worth of stuff, and you ended with more health than you.
Yeah.
So that's my turn. It went horribly. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong. Yeah, not a single thing went right. I failed my long charges. I failed every single cast. I failed to do any damage with anything.
The big thing with the engagement in the center was we knew with ethereal saves, it was swingy. If I roll badly, you could lift him, right? But in this case, I didn't.
Yeah, and it cost me my Trog Boss. I'm in really dire straits now.
I think the toughest thing, not toughest, but maybe the biggest play would have been if you had made one of your charges into these skeletons to flip the objective. Just to take a scoring advantage.
Yeah, but I failed those charges.
Yeah. And this is a good reason why I felt like I was in a position to give away the turn, right?
Yep.
My stuff is pretty tanky. I was all tied up in combat, so I'm either fighting or you're retreating and giving me a charge. Would you try to stick in with the Fellwaters?
I mean, I thought they would survive. I thought one would survive and they'd tie you up. Now that you're not tied up, I'm in so much trouble because my general's dead for sure. Yeah, that was a bad turn.
Yeah, you did get your battle tactic though.
That's true.
You'll get the objectives for 5 points. Scored well, but not what you wanted to see happen on the table.
No, I mean, I would have been better off just to step back and do nothing the whole turn. Like it was actually an inverse turn. I fell farther behind. I didn't make up any ground.
Yeah. Well, I guess that'll just lead us into Soulblight Gravelord's turn 2, and we'll see if we can't dig that hole a little deeper. All right, so for my battle tactic this turn, I'm gonna go for Lead into the Maelstrom. So I got charge a hero in a battle line, and one of them stick in combat. Then I'm gonna go for Premeditated Bloodshed as my heroic action, which is a Legion of Blood one with my Vampire Lord. Means you cannot make ward saves against his attacks.
We will finest hour with this spider right here, the shaman. Because he is, I mean, it won't save him, but maybe it'll
help.
Yeah.
Well, then we will, let's roll Primal Dice. We got 1 each. Neferata will start off by casting Dark Mist. I'll get that off on a 7.
I'm sure they're all the same. Double 1.
All right, so I'll put the Ethereal on the Blood Knights again. And then the Vandorian Lord's gonna try and cast Flaming Weapon, which he'll get on a 7.
Try and stop it. Nope, nothing's working today.
Yeah. And then the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragons to try and cast Vile Transference. And he fails that on a 5.
Awesome, I stopped one.
Then lastly, Neferata will try and cast Spirit Gale. That's a 5/6, we'll throw the Primal at it for a 12.
All right.
13, you get it.
Stops it.
All right, then that's it for the hero phase, and we'll jump into movement.
I will redeploy to try and give myself a fighting chance at survival.
1 inch. At the end of my movement phase, I'm gonna bring up my other unit of 10 skeletons, and then on a 3-up, I'll bring 5 back from the unit that died, which I do. Then for shooting, we'll see how many attacks I get. It'll be 3 with the Vampire Lord, and he'll put them into the single rocket. So 3s and 3s.
4s, this one's in the light. Success.
All right, then charges, we'll start off with the Vandorian Lord.
Double 1, double 1.
Then we'll charge the Blood Knights. And then the Vandorian Lord is going to roar your Arachnarok, which I fail.
Ooh.
Then the Vampire Lord's going to stomp your big unit for 3 mortal wounds.
3 ward saves. Succeed 2.
And then we're to start off combat with the Blood Knights.
I will all out defense.
And I will all out attack.
Wait, I gotta roar at you first. No, I failed to.
Looking to fell another monstrous hero, the Blood Knights attack and deal 32 damage from just the riders.
And the spider goes down.
All right, we're gonna attack with all my trogs, or at least 6 of them.
The Rock Guts deal just 5 wounds to the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon, who heals it all back when he retaliates and takes 2 of them down.
Battle Shock, the trogs. My low rolling is good. The trogs don't run.
All right, so Soulblight turn 2, and Ryan, as you predicted and feared, we were able to chase down and take out your general. With a bigger redeploy, you could have made it a lot tougher.
I mean, even like the damage you dealt, it was within the realm to survive. Yeah. But I put up like 8 or 9 2s on 20 days. So.
Yeah, so not great saves, but again, it's just Still good volume of attacks, hard, good damage. We both failed to roar there, which made it potentially spicy.
Yeah, it gave me the hope.
Yeah, and I brought back a unit, deep struck my other 10 skeletons, so just trying to reinforce things. But obviously here, the name of the game is your spiders are the biggest threat to me, and they haven't really been able to get into the fight.
Yep.
So that's been fortuitous, where I barely tagged the one on the edge before, and here was chasing that one down. So we will store our battle tactic because I am still in combat with your little hero. For better or worse, we get the battle tactic though, and I'll store 3 objectives for 5 points. So it'll be a tie game, Ryan, going into round 3.
We both roll 6, but I get the choose.
Yeah, you win ties.
I mean, I guess I gotta take it, because I think if you get the turn, I don't have an army.
Okay, and what is the moon doing?
It's staying in the corner where it's useless.
Okay.
This is so bad.
Well, with that, we will jump into Gloomspite Gets turn 3.
So on my turn, I'm gonna go for Intimidate the Invaders. Then for Heroic Action, I guess we'll make a CP with my remaining Spider Shaman. Success.
I'll go for the heroic action again to turn off wards, just in case you want to stay there, just deter you a little bit.
Primals. 1 each. Casting. Okay, we'll go Hand of Gork with the Madcap Shaman. Success.
Try to unbind it. Nope, you got it.
So Mystic Shield from the Spiderweb Shaman. Goes off on a 7.
I'll throw my primal at it. It's unbound.
Right. I'm casting Venom of the Spider God. And I get it off with a 7.
Try to unbind it. We do on a 13.
Movement phase. Charging with the Shaman. Charging with the Skitterscan or Ragnarok. 9. That'll get me there.
Yep.
And then we're gonna charge with the Trogs. 8. So I'll Titanic duel with the Shaman, and then alright, I'll stomp the Skeletons with the Skitterscan or Ragnarok, which I'll succeed for 3.
Then the Vampire Lord will roar your Ragnarok, your Skitter Strand, the Web Spinner Ragnarok, which you're roared.
Web Spinner Shaman.
The Vandorian Lord will try to smash to rubble your Loon Shrine, and he does.
I will attack you with the other one then, because that one I can all-out attack.
The Skitterstrand Arachnarok attacks the Vampire Lord, but it fails to deal even a single wound to the Undead Overlord.
Alright, well I guess the Vampire Lord's gonna get to fight, and he'll go into your wizard.
Okay.
Spider.
My
your Spider Wizard.
Web Spinner Shaman on a Ragnarok Spider.
And he'll use all-out attack.
The Web Spinner Shaman on a Ragnarok Spider suffers 10 damage when the Vampire Lord attacks, but it deals 8 damage back when it retaliates. Again, unable to take down the Ethereal Vampire Lord, the Gloomspite Gits seem to be in dire straits as they prepare for their enemy's retaliation.
Alright, so my turn's up. I made a boo-boo. I forgot about my battle tactic and then charged back into my deployment zone. So I don't score my battle tactic. I did some damage to you finally. The Skitterscan Ragnarok just did nothing. It was like watching dice just laugh at me. But the other guy did decently well. He put up, what, 10 damage? 9 damage?
10. Well, you did 10. I saved made 2 ward saves.
Yeah, so he did pretty well.
If they both did that, you could have killed him.
Yeah, exactly. There was a chance, and I know it wouldn't have won me the game, but at least it would have got me some glory. I failed every spell except for my teleport, and then I failed the charge, so that didn't really do much, but I didn't see any point to leaving the Trogs in combat with a thing that they do no damage to. They were just, like, feeding him wounds.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll put him somewhere else. Maybe they can kill skeletons.
He was continually killing 2, topping himself up.
Yeah. Other than that, the Shamans, they couldn't really go anywhere, so they're just standing there. I know now that I put the spider there, even their blocking doesn't do anything, but it's... You know, you go for it, right?
Yeah, do what you can.
So yeah, that's my turn.
You will hold 2 objectives.
But I only scored 2, so now and you just deleted my grand strategy, so I think any hopes of a comeback just went away.
Well, We've still got lots of knights ready to charge, and the Vandorian Lord, obviously. So let's see if we can seal the deal going into Soulblight Gravelords, turn 3. All right, so my battle tactic is going to be Cursed Unlife. So I have to heal a wound with my general, which means deal a wound with my general. And then I'll go for his finest hour, actually.
We're gonna finest hour with the Ragnarok Shaman on Spider.
I'll roll primal dice for us. None. Then spell casting. We'll go with Neferata's Dark Mist with an 8.
Well, I'll try and stop your Dark Mist. I stop it.
And then she'll try and cast Misted Shield on a 6. And she'll just put that on herself. And then the Vandorian Lord's gonna try and cast Flaming Weapon on a 9.
8.
He'll put it on the sword. And lastly, the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon will cast Vile Transference. And he'll miscast.
Miscast!
And he'll suffer 1 mortal wound.
Okay, he's not.
And then I guess we'll just head into movement. All right, then we are going to be into shooting. We'll see how many attacks I get with the Vampire Lord. It'll be a big stitch this time. We're going to put them all into your Spider with the Wizard. And I'll go for an all-out attack here. So I'll be on 2s and 3s.
Okay.
3 damage.
Yep. No, I'm not dead.
Then charging. We'll start off with the Blood Knights for a 9. Vandorian Lord, 11. Then Neferata for 10. And then monstrous actions. Neferata is going to roar your Skitterstrand. She does. And then my Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon is going to use Titanic Duel against it.
I will roar with the Skitterstrand Ragnarok. We will roar at Neferata. We succeed. And then I guess the Shaman will stomp the Knights? Yeah, maybe we'll get some mortals in. For 2.
All right, and then for combat, we're going to start off with the Vampire Lord going into your Skitterstrand.
It's been roared, so I'm just going to pucker up and take it.
As the Skitterstrand clenches its web hole, the Vampire Lord attacks but leaves it alive with 5 wounds left.
Alright, we will attack with the Shaman at your Lord, I guess. I just want to try and kill.
The web spinner Arachnarok deals 6 more damage to the Vampire Lord. Then Neferata finishes off the Skitterstrand.
Next we'll do the Blood Knights. We'll put the most we can into your Spider, and then I think it's 2 each into each of your little Shamans.
The Blood Knights take down the web spinner Arachnarok and the web spinner Shaman, but the Madcap Shaman survives. Then lastly, the Vangorian Lord piles in but fails to finish off the lone Trogg, who fights back but does absolutely nothing.
All right, Soulblight turn 3. Again, just the Vampire Lord standing still, everything else charging around him. The Blood Knights obviously kind of on the go again. We took down the 2 big spiders, one of the Shamans, but somehow the other Shamans survived. And the Vandorian Lord failed to kill a single Trogg, but I mean, that was kind of...
That's how Troggs are supposed to be.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. It's icing on the cake. Not surprising to see, again, see the Vampire Lord or the Vandorian Lord whiff. He's not too crazy.
You had flaming weapons, but you did whiff pretty hard there.
Yeah, so it happens, but the big thing is obviously just the board state. You do have 5 Troggs left still, but you just have nothing else
yeah,
really.
Like I'm currently at like, I've killed what, 5 skeletons, 7?
Yeah, a few, yeah. I could have been bringing them back this turn, but that's gonna mean I do get my battle tactic here, and I obviously hold 3 objectives. So I'll get my 5 points, which is going to pull me ahead. Ryan, we can roll a prio and then probably talk it out from here.
Hey, I win one.
Yeah.
Actually, I won the last one.
Yeah, so do you have any battle tactics left to you?
Unit Troggs kill a monster. Not going to happen. Or I've got the Wizard alive. I would just do
Magical Dominance.
Magical Dominance and just try and spike high.
Yeah, so potentially a battle tactic, maybe 2 at a stretch, but likely at least 1 or a shot at 1. But obviously here, the struggle, even if you can take like this 1 point, you're not going to be able to catch up too much. So
yeah, I'm going to score maybe 1, maybe 3 more points.
Yeah, probably be able to take maybe a tactic and an objective for 3 points. We're already ahead with Soul Blight. They're guaranteed their Durant strat, and there's no way you're denying points here. For primary, likely a couple. I can also do a Magic Dom after I kill your last wizard, turn 5, and maybe surround or intimidate. Like, still got lots of options. So. Rough one here for I mean, the spiders did all right, but the trolls kind of struggled in this matchup.
The spiders didn't even do all that right.
They popped off, each did 8 damage. If not for the healing, you could have taken down the Vampire Lord.
Yeah, but I wouldn't consider that enough to be great.
No, not great, but respectable, right?
Yeah, like they each they popped 1 mortal wound.
You didn't roll hot or anything, yeah.
So I mean, this was one of those games where nothing went right. Like, the moon never moved until it was too late. You unbound 11 of my 12 casts.
Yeah, a lot of...
Like, it was just, nothing went according to plan. I unbound, like, nothing, so I couldn't stop your ethereal. My attacks obviously just didn't do much. I don't think it's a bad army, but I think that ethereal is really tough for Trogs to deal with.
Yes, certain armies, right? It's polarizing. A 3 of ethereal can be insane against something like that, whereas if you have a lot of low-rend, high-volume attacks, they'll chew through it.
Well, and like, if you didn't have the heal, I could slowly chip you down, but you're healing 6 wounds a turn. I'm never doing more than 6 wounds a turn. Finally, I did with the mortals, but the Trogs are never going to do more than 6 wounds a turn. So they might as well not exist.
And without a fight's last, you're not activating twice, right, to finish something off.
Like, it was tough. I mean, it wasn't, I wouldn't say it was unwinnable or anything like that, but a lot of things went really bad to make sure that any hopes I had went away real quick, which is unfortunate. Sometimes that happens, but I guess it was a mistake putting Trug so far forward, but I thought he was tanky enough to take that hit. I mean, I was trying to spread you out a little bit. It was intentional. I thought you'd charge in, do half his wounds, he'd fight, heal D3 plus 3, beat you up, and then... And
that's what should have happened, very likely, right?
Yeah, and then it would have been my turn, and then he would have healed again before he got to attack. He would have been full health, and so that's what I was thinking. Like, 16 wounds, 5 up ward, -1 to hit. I thought he could survive.
And that's why I kind of had to go for him at that point too, because, I mean, I could just push everything into the middle, but then you're coming into my flank, and you weren't Finest Hour, you didn't get Mystic Shield, so that was like the time to go for Trug.
Yeah, I should have Finest Hour in retrospect. That was a mistake, but I honestly thought he was fine. I was just like, yeah, right. Like, yeah, good luck. And you slaughtered him. Like, you didn't even get him to the wound. You overkilled him by a few wounds. And you hadn't even rolled your horses yet. Yeah. And you hadn't rolled the Vainglorious Lord. So, like, he was overkilled probably by, like, 10 wounds.
Yeah. Poor first outing for your poor Trug.
Yeah, so it's unfortunate. It was, things didn't go well. Like, my general... The Spiderweb General did nothing the whole game. He failed every cast he made, and he never got to fight in combat, other than those 8 attacks that when you tag.
Yeah, and not your good attacks.
So he basically did nothing. And that was a positioning error on my part. I didn't realize he was just, like, that was just a hair within 3 of when you charge.
Yeah.
That wasn't intentional. That was just a...
Well, you got tagged,
I should have just not had him. He could have easily been
further back,
a millimeter back, and it wouldn't have been a problem. And that could have swung the game, because like I was telling Jordan, like, he has the double mortal wounds thing, so he can potentially do 32 to 36 mortal wounds depending on where the moon is.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I'm not going to roll the 4 6s very often, but I mean, if he's under the moon, it's 5s.
Yeah.
It's like, that can happen, and 36 mortal wounds picks up like this whole unit of knights, and the whole game changes.
Yes. Yeah. No, definitely. Sweeney, but has the potential to.
Yeah, and it's happened. Like, I've got a buddy, he experienced that. I rolled 4 6s one time.
Yeah.
And it was nuts. It's just like, he was like, how many? And I'm like,
yeah, we recently had a Gargant do the 46 mortal wounds and rolled 6s on all of them for 24. Like,
yeah, like that's just gnarly amounts of potential. But he never got the opportunity to, and that was on me. Like, that's my big mistake over, like, the moving over here. That's my big mistake. And then the dice said you're not going to have any chance at recovering from that mistake is the way I'd put this game, because it's just like everything that happened over here just went really bad.
Yeah, it was a tough one here, but I mean, Neferata on the flip side had a good showing. She didn't really have to do much. Finished off a spider in combat, cast a spell a couple times that didn't
stand there and give a -1 to hit.
The -1 actually is amazing, and that hugely had an impact.
And give a big unit ethereal.
Yeah. It didn't really matter because they never really took attacks.
That's also why I never attacked them.
Fair. You never, yeah, they were never appetizing to go into. But
yeah. So I think Neff was a superstar here.
And a great, just showing the strength of Legion of Blood. It's been a popular sub-faction with them. Vampire Lord, even though he wasn't on the charge besides turn 1, very resilient in combat, ethereal, healing, still doing good damage as well. And then everything else, you know, like we've talked about. The Vandorian Lord, always a little underwhelming, but...
I wouldn't consider him underwhelming. Like, yeah, he failed here, but...
Yeah,
he was.
Most of his comments he didn't do much, and that's typical. His profile isn't crazy, and for 300 points, there's probably more you could get out of it. But yeah, can't complain about it. Obviously, with the outcome here for Soul Blight, so we'll go home happy. Ryan, it was a bloody one. Unfortunate for the Gits, but as we said, we'll get these guys out for another showcase soon. Guys, we'll wrap things up here. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed that battle report, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next one.